Imagine living in a world where people worship statues they carved with their own hands. A world where idols are treated as gods, even though they cannot speak, hear, or protect anyone. Now imagine a young man standing completely alone against an entire society. A man who challenges everything his people believe. His name was Ibrahim, Abraham. But what happened when his people tried to burn him alive? How did a blazing fire suddenly become harmless? And what was the mystery behind the birds that came back to life? This is the extraordinary story of Prophet Ibrahim, one of the greatest prophets in human history. A story of faith, miracles, sacrifice, and mysteries that continue to inspire millions around the world. Thousands of years ago, Ibrahim lived among a people deeply devoted to idol worship. They carved statues from stone, they decorated them, they placed offerings before them, and then they bowed down and prayed. But Ibrahim could not accept this. He looked at the world around him and began searching for the truth. He looked toward the stars. One night, he saw a shining star. He wondered, as mentioned in the Quran, "Is this my Lord?" But when the star disappeared, Ibrahim rejected the idea. A god could not simply vanish. Then he saw the moon. It was bright and magnificent. But when the moon disappeared, Ibrahim realized that it too could not be his Lord. Then came the sun, the largest and brightest object he could see. But when the sun eventually set, Ibrahim understood the truth. The Creator could not be something that rises and sets, something that appears and disappears, something created. And so Ibrahim declared his belief in the one true God, the Creator of the heavens and the earth. Chapter 2. The Confrontation. Ibrahim began questioning his people. He asked them, "Why do you worship these statues? Can they hear you when you call them? Can they help you? Can they harm you?" The questions were simple, but they were dangerous. Because Ibrahim was challenging an entire society. His own father was involved in idol worship. Ibrahim tried to reason with him, but his people refused to listen. They were not willing to abandon the religion of their ancestors. And Ibrahim realized that words alone would not be enough. He needed to make them see the truth for themselves. Chapter 3. The Destruction of the Idols. One day, the people left the city to attend a celebration. Ibrahim stayed behind, and when the city became quiet, he entered the temple. Hundreds of idols stood there, large ones, small ones, decorated with ornaments and offerings. But they could not move. They could not speak. They could not defend themselves. Ibrahim looked at them. Then he took an axe. One by one, he destroyed the idols, until only the largest idol remained. Ibrahim placed the axe around its neck. Then he left. When the people returned, they were shocked. Their gods had been destroyed. They demanded to know, "Who did this to our gods?" Someone mentioned Ibrahim, so they brought him before everyone. They asked, "Did you do this to our gods?" Ibrahim replied, "Rather, this largest of them did it. So ask them if they can speak." Silence filled the room. For a moment, the people knew the truth. Their idols could not speak. They could not move. They could not even defend themselves. But instead of accepting the truth, they became angry. And then came the decision that would change everything. They would burn Ibrahim alive. Chapter 4. The Fire that Became Peaceful. The people prepared a massive fire. They gathered enormous amounts of wood. The flames grew higher and higher. The heat became unbearable. No one could get close. So they came up with a terrifying plan. They built a large mechanism to launch Ibrahim into the fire. Then they threw him into the flames. To everyone watching, it seemed impossible for him to survive. But then something extraordinary happened. The command of God came, "O fire, be coolness and safety upon Ibrahim." And suddenly, the fire that was supposed to destroy him. Chapter 5. The Journey of Migration. After this extraordinary event, Ibrahim decided to migrate for the sake of Allah. He left his homeland. He left behind his people. He traveled with his wife Sarah and Prophet Lut. The journey was difficult, but it marked the beginning of a new chapter in his mission. A chapter filled with new trials, new miracles, and a legacy that would continue for generations. Chapter 6. The Trial in the Desert. Allah blessed Ibrahim with his wife Hajar. After many years of waiting, he was also blessed with a son, Ismail. But the greatest test had not yet come. Allah commanded Ibrahim to leave Hajar and her infant son in a barren valley, a place with no crops and no visible source of water. Ibrahim obeyed, and then he began to leave. Hajar called after him, "Where are you leaving us?" But Ibrahim did not answer immediately. Then she asked, "Did Allah command you to do this?" Ibrahim replied, "Yes." Hajar understood, and with complete faith she said, "Then Allah will never abandon us." Chapter 7. The Miracle of Zamzam. The water was gone. Little Ismail began to cry from thirst. Hajar desperately searched for help. She ran between the hills of Safa and Marwa. Once, twice, again and again, 7 times in total. She was searching for anyone who might have water, but there was no one. Then, suddenly, a miracle happened. Water began to emerge from beneath the feet of the infant Ismail. It was the beginning of the sacred well of Zamzam, a source of water that Muslims still drink from today. Life began to grow around it. Travelers came, people settled, and eventually the city of Mecca rose around that blessed place. What had once been a barren valley became one of the most sacred places on earth. Chapter 8. The Greatest Test. As Ismail grew older, another extraordinary test came. One night, Ibrahim saw in a dream that he was sacrificing his beloved son, and the dreams of the prophets were revelation. Ibrahim told his son what he had seen. Ismail, despite his young age, responded with remarkable faith. "O my father, do what you are commanded to do." Father and son submitted themselves completely to the will of Allah, and when Ibrahim was about to carry out the command, the call of Allah came. The test was complete. Ibrahim had proven his obedience, and Allah replaced Ismail with a great sacrifice. This event became the foundation of the Islamic tradition of sacrifice during Eid al-Adha, a story remembered by millions of Muslims every year. Chapter 9. Building the Kaaba. Years later, Ibrahim and his son Ismail stood together once again, but this time they were building something that would change history forever. They raised the foundations of the Kaaba, stone by stone. They worked together while praying, "Our Lord, accept this from us. Indeed, you are the all-hearing, the all-knowing." From that sacred place began the journey of Hajj. Every year, millions of Muslims from around the world travel to Mecca. They stand together, they pray together, and they remember the legacy of Ibrahim, Hajar, and Ismail. Chapter 10. The Miracle of the Birds. There was another remarkable moment in the life of Ibrahim. Although he already believed completely in Allah, he wanted his heart to become even more reassured. So he asked Allah, "My Lord, show me how you give life to the dead." Allah asked him to take 4 birds. Then Ibrahim was instructed to place portions of them upon different hills. And then he was told to call them. Ibrahim called, and in an extraordinary scene, the separated parts began coming together. The birds returned to life, and they flew toward Ibrahim by the permission of Allah. It was a breathtaking miracle, a powerful demonstration that the one who created life in the first place has complete power to bring the dead back to life. The story of Prophet Ibrahim is not simply a series of historical events. It is the journey of a man who searched for the truth and found it. A man who stood against an entire nation, even when he was alone. A man who was thrown into a blazing fire, but emerged unharmed. A man who migrated for the sake of Allah. A father who left his wife and infant son in a barren valley, trusting completely in his Lord. A father who was willing to sacrifice his beloved son in obedience to Allah. And a prophet whose legacy continues to live on across generations. Ibrahim became a symbol of faith, courage, sacrifice, and complete trust in Allah. His story reminds us that sometimes the greatest miracles happen when everything appears impossible. The fire can become cool. The desert can become a home. The barren land can become a sacred city. And what seems like the greatest loss can become the beginning of an everlasting legacy. So, which miracle from the story of Prophet Ibrahim amazed you the most? Tell us in the comments. And don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel for more powerful and inspiring stories from the Quran and Islamic history.